Hey, what's up, and welcome to yet another episode of our TechTrends podcast. I love talking to startup founders in Africa. And of course, if you've been following our podcast, we've been doing a lot of interesting work just talking to startup founders, talk about the products they are building. And in this podcast, it's part of the 7 series podcast that we are doing with fellows from the Legatum Center. Exactly. Just talk about the products that they're building. And of course, they're in Kenya. They've been here for 6 days now, right?
Yes, exactly.
So maybe just start by introducing yourself. Tell us who you are and what you're building.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nick. I'm happy to be here. I'm Ahmed Nounou. I'm a co-founder of a company called INDOS. And in INDOS, we help factories. So we work with labor-intensive manufacturers to help them increase their productivity by using data and AI. So we work currently across North Africa, and hopefully soon we're coming more, to other countries across Africa as well.
Oh, interesting. So talk to us about now what you're building. So you work with different companies, different factories.
Yeah.
How exactly does the product work?
Okay. Maybe I'll give a quick background about, my personal story, which is kind of connected to what I'm doing. So I came from a family that has been rooted in the textile industry in Egypt. So my great-grandfather was one of the pioneers in this industry. And my grandfather's father inherited, the legacy. And I, as a kid, I was going to the factory probably every summer, spending all the summer there, learning more. And when I graduated from School of Engineering as an electronics engineer, I worked a little bit in engineering. Then I, shifted to the factory. And we had this entrepreneurial blood that is, running through us. So I started working in the factory. And I faced as an engineer a few problems. One of them, it's a clothing factory. And in the clothing factory, you have hundreds of people working on production lines, and you will have no idea about what's happening on the production lines unless you personally are there physically. And all the data that you get from your people is either late or inaccurate or just incomplete. So the decisions that you make are always, I would say suboptimal. So sometimes about the delivery date, you have a date that you should, ship your products in, and you always get delayed. Also, your workers are not that incentivized to do their best because they get their salary anyway. So there's no linkage between, productivity and quality and the pay of the workers. And the workers in this industry are one of the lowest paid industries across all manufacturers. So there is a big room to enhance productivity and at the same time enhance the lives of, millions of people working across Africa. So what we have been building is it's a software product. It's a software and a hardware component in which we collect live data from the production lines, and then using this data and adding on top of it a layer of analytics and AI so that we can advise the decision makers in the factory, whether they're supervisors, whether they're quality inspectors, whether to mechanics or managers, or even the top management, on what they need to do in the real time to enhance the productivity and the quality of their products, and therefore enhance the competitiveness of the factory in a global, perspective.
And this works for all industries.
Yes, we work for mainly labor-intensive industries. So industries like the clothing industries or footwear, leatherware, furniture. So a few ones that are, would fit into this category. Also assembly of, household appliances, some of small domestic appliances. So all these industries in which you have, many workers working on the production line and a lot of different configuration, different products on the same line. So this is where we can actually, make sense and get these data out of the lines and then use it too.
Right. I love what you said, because I think one of the biggest challenges we've seen happening is the fact that, as long as someone knows they're getting a salary at the end of the month, the level of productivity tends to reduce at some point, and the software you're building or the program you're building is better to address that, increase productivity and...
Yes, exactly. So one of the things, when I was in the factory, one of the things that people would normally do is that they would intentionally work at lower productivity during their work time, so that you're, as a decision maker, forced to let them work overtime because they want to make more money. It's very simple. It's one of the lowest paid industries. So instead of them doing this and actually ruining their work-life balance and their social life, is how about you can work in the work time and do the work that you were expected to do, like finish that work, and go home early and get more money.
Yeah.
So this is what we're trying to do: is to align the interest of the factory owners with the workers of the factory.
All right. And right now you're only in Egypt,
No, we're currently in Egypt and in Morocco, and hopefully soon we'll be here in Kenya.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So would you say, how did you end up joining the the program, the fellowship program?
Oh, yeah. So after been 5 years building this company along with the team, after a while of being a founder, you feel that you're the one responsible all the time for your own, for the development of the company, and you kind of have no time for your own personal development. And also, after some time, you start focusing too much in the company, and then you lack that, broader sense and look at the bigger picture and how you can have bigger influence. And looking into Africa, our continent, we would find that we do lack a lot when it comes to the manufacturing. So the continent has been always this, the ground field source to extract, minerals and resources out of the continent and send it outside for value adding. And the value doesn't happen inside of here. And I believe, focusing on manufacturing is an important component in the economic prosperity of the continent.
Right.
And that's why I believe I wanted to join this, because it gives you this, broader picture on the continent and how things run here, and also give you the connections by which you can expand your business and actually give more positive impact across the continent.
Right. And you're in Nairobi, that is, of course, the Foundry Fellowship. And I think you visit so many places, which includes, of course, some of these manufacturing, companies. What would you say will be some of the key takeaways you've picked from your 6-day trip in Nairobi, based on the place you've visited? I know you've been to CASA, you've seen, of course, what we're doing, you've seen how the innovation space here in Kenya, what would you say are some of your key takeaways? Yeah,
I mean, first of all, we spent the 3 first days in Mount Kenya.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was a fabulous experience, man. It's an amazing place. Yeah, first of all, Kenya was like, it's the first time here, and it really struck me as a very beautiful country, like with very nice people as well, very nice and polite and welcoming people here. So, we didn't feel like we're in somewhere, different than us. So it felt great, felt at home. The place there was interesting, and we also got a very interesting leadership course, and had a new, completely different way of learning. One of the greater professors across the world is Professor Hugh from Harvard Business School, and we got a very intensive workshop on leadership and how to stay focused on the things that need to be done, and how to, start thinking of solving the problems in a collective manner, taking all stakeholders into consideration. And then taking that course and coming back here in Nairobi, and then we have met with a lot of, different people from different perspectives. So we met people from the government, from the quasi-government. We met people from industry, fintech, education. So it has been, really, we also met with this, we just came from the space agency here in Nairobi. We went to the stock exchange. So I think it was kind of a collective, our overall perspective on what's happening here, from both the government's perspective, from the founders' perspective, from the tech space and innovation perspective. So the main objective is for all of us as entrepreneurs to help grow our own businesses, as an innovative-based startups, but also how to collaborate with each other in order to have a better Africa for all of us.
Yeah, would you come back again?
Of course. I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us for this short episode.
It's been a pleasure.
Of course, we look forward to just following up and seeing the great things you're doing. Of course, we look forward to seeing you come and, of course, expand here in Kenya.
I would love that, and I would love to meet you again, hopefully after we start the expansion.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching this short episode. I'll see you in the next one.